Welcome back, everybody, to another All Things MSP vendor update. We have a very different vendor today, somebody in the space who is doing something truly unique that I think almost every MSP's clients need in some degree. And this is one of those things where you see a new use of technology in a really exciting way because we so much depend on connectivity today. And so I want to bring up Steve Copeland from Rythmz. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Eric. Good to see you. Haven't seen you since IT Nation.
Yeah, so, it's been a hot minute.
Been a minute. So as the conference scene starts to come back in, I've already gotten a couple of messages going, I can't wait to see you here. I can't wait to see you there. So having some fun, right?
Yeah, it's starting to ramp up. And I think conferences are going to be interesting this year. So I'm really excited to see how everything kind of falls out.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm having fun with it, so I'm looking forward to it. So, all right. So how is things in your life? We got to catch off camera, so the personal stuff is out of the way, but everything else seems to be going good, right?
Yeah, doing a lot of stuff. All Things MSP is growing, which is always great, and it's giving us the ability to bring on vendors, and have them talk about what they're doing, give them this chance to provide an update to the All Things MSP audience and talk about what, they accomplished in 2024 and some of the new things coming out in 2025. And, I was not lying during that intro. Like, I am truly excited about what you guys are doing because there are some solutions that kind of do it as well as you guys do, but nowhere near as well as you guys do. So let's start out for the people who don't know, what is Rythmz and the basic use case?
So the basic use case was we came up with a box. It's internet in a box. I keep making the joke all the time. We bring the internet. But it's a 5G connectivity box. And really when I did this and talked through it, before we launched, we're only a year old now. But before we launched, I did a lot of research and really what would I need? What do I need as an end user? What do I need as an MSP? What makes sense? And the two things that really came up is carrier-agnostic. So it didn't matter what carrier mattered, right? And unlimited bandwidth. And when I say unlimited bandwidth, and I had this conversation with somebody earlier today, not only unlimited bandwidth, but uncappable bandwidth, meaning I get 500 gigs and then it goes down, right?
Right.
So that was the big first step of that. I've always talked about the joke that I have of it's a Google Cloud moment where they're talking about their innovation team. And they say, your job is to get a monkey to recite Shakespeare wearing a tuxedo on top of a pedestal. Where do you start? And most people, the pedestal, this. I just taught the monkey how to read, because if the monkey can't read, the whole project fails.
Right.
So our whole project, that monkey reading moment, is about the service, right? How does that service work? How does that service get to that next level? And that service piece matters. So multiple meetings with T-Mobile, multiple Verizon pieces, multiple meetings with AT&T. How do we get there? So we have our plans nobody else can buy. They're from 2020. So that really made the difference. And once we got that, then we knew the monkey can talk. Great. Now we can pick what book the monkey is on, right? Like is he read Hamlet? Is he going to read this? What are we going to get the monkey to do? And then the pedestal, which is the hardware in my head, doesn't really matter, right? So now we're going to get to that point. So that's really what it came out with. And then the other last piece was making sure it was bonded. I do not like wasted cost with backups. Mm-hmm. Everybody has this backup wasted cost. And I'm like, how do I bond all that? Can I bond in Starlink, which we can? Can we bond in a traditional WAN, which we can? Can we bond in all these different pieces to make sure that end users don't go down? Your partners don't go down. And really that's where we came from. And we launched in February. I didn't know half of where we were going to get. I've learned so much from the partners. It's been great. And to me, that's the kind of relationship we like to have. It's like, hey, I want to use this. We had a guy come up to us at an event last week, this past week. And he's like, well, I do a bunch of stuff for the Chamber of Commerce and I do this. He goes, I pay $2,000 a month for this billboard. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, I go, yeah. And he goes, I'm just going to take your box. Can you do a captive portal? I'm like, yeah. Absolutely. It's part of it. And he goes, so we could do a captive portal. I could just get the leads by giving them free Wi-Fi. And I go, yeah. And he goes, cool. Signed up right there. Took the box home. He's like, I'm spending $2,000. I'm gonna spend $595 to do this, and he'll use it every weekend, and I get captured leads, which I never thought of that.
No, but it's
right?
Brilliant.
Yeah, I never thought of it. He's offering the Chamber of Commerce and whatever. We all got to join the. As you're running MSP, I joined the place with the funny hat. They still have the fez, right? And I joined a couple of them. I'd never thought of that either. And he goes, I'm just going to give them free Wi-Fi. And that's his contribution, and doing it from a giver's heart where he's like, hey, I'm giving it to you, but yeah, I'm getting the leads. Right. So yeah, it's kind of fun. We're having a lot of fun with partners.
And there's a lot of use cases for that too, where you could have, the partner may have one of those boxes on hand to provide emergency service to somebody,
yes.
but then use it like on the weekends to provide internet at, a craft festival or some type of business meeting where, it's a thing.
It's needed.
And then capture the leads from it. I mean, that's
and marketing. We've always known you could do those events. I never took it that extra 10 feet.
Right.
Right. And when he took it the extra 10 feet, I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about this. You mind if I talk about it? He's like, well, don't tell anybody in my area. And I started laughing. I go, all right, I'll try my best. But it was really good use case. Events. We've got a lot of partners that are doing event spots right now. And we've got two big partners, one in Texas and one in Tampa, that have turned their MSP pages that we provide event connectivity, and they're blowing up.
Yeah.
Because those boxes are renting $1,000 a day.
Right.
And they're realizing, whoa, there's money here. And I'm like, yeah, I think the biggest benefit we've had and we've learned over this last year is we're not replacing anything. We're adding revenue, adding a stream. And that's what's got me really excited. And, I'm old hat. We'll never say how old either one of us are. But I've been in here for a while, and coming back and seeing the excitement back again in some of my old friends' MSP spaces is really cool. It's really kind of like, wow, you could really do this with this. You could do this. It's almost like this new spot coming in where they're going, what if I did that? I'm like, yeah, it'll work. What if I did that? Yeah, it'll work. And then one person said, what about supporting 8,000 people? I go, not on one box. So
but that's okay, because you just charge more.
Just charge more. It works. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So, the typical use case for this is, obviously backup internet.
Mm-hmm.
However, you guys have taken it much farther than that. I mean, what we were talking about, exactly case in point.
Mm-hmm.
You're finding new use cases for this to actually make it so that you're generating revenue on a more consistent basis, and it's more useful for the customer at the same time. Because if I remember correctly from our previous conversations, you can take this, you add it to their existing internet, and it not just acts as a failover, it becomes bonded to their existing internet to give them more bandwidth.
Yeah, so we've had some great conversations. I had a great call from one of our partners. And I'm going to humble say this, year on, 72 partners in a year. So that has been an amazing growth rate for us, right? We're not the hugest people. We're not out there, but 72 consistently good partners. And one of them called me and goes, it finally happened. And I go, what? And he goes, this internet goes down. And he goes, I got to make the call. And so what I always say is, we as MSPs have always been yelled at. It's the one thing we don't charge for. We don't make any money for it. And it's the first thing we're blamed for.
Yep.
If that internet goes out, you're getting yelled at.
Yep.
So I go, wouldn't you like to turn that from a negative into a positive? And when you turn that into a positive, it becomes, hey, your internet's a little slower, but I'm already on the phone with Spectrum. Instead of the internet's out, it's Spectrum, they say 6 hours. He called, he's like, that change in my day and that relationship with the partner or with their client, where they said, it's not that much slower. And he goes, well, it is. So like maybe turn off Spotify. Maybe don't have Bobby doing Netflix. But I wasn't waiting for it, but when it happened, it was just a game changer. He ordered 3 more boxes right then. He's like, I got 3 more boxes. They're going out to more people right now. So that's what we're seeing is once you grasp that piece of it's not disaster recovery, it's business continuity.
Right.
And you turn this negative into this positive piece.
Yeah, because you're no longer wasting it on the day to day, waiting for something to happen for that failover situation. You're using it all the time to augment what you already have. And I think that is a much easier sell. And I mean, when I had my own MSP, right? And it was in Orlando, Florida. So lightning capital of the world, internet would go out all the time, right? And in terms of the blame game, yeah, you're right. The first phone call was to us. So, and it got so bad that what we basically started doing, because we didn't have cellular backup back then, what we did was when we saw it go down, we'd call them first.
Yeah.
So at least it was a little bit better of a conversation.
But it's still not great.
It's still not great.
Right.
So this makes it a great conversation because you call them up and say, hey, your internet might be a little bit slower because your main provider is down.
Yeah.
Which
is a much better place. And people have backups that they can do that with. But, if it keeps that heartbeat, if it's still got that connection to that router 17 miles away or within a 17-mile radius, then it won't kick over.
Right.
And it stinks. And you're like, what am I going to do? And, it's down. I'm like, oh, it's not down. And you're like, it's still got a heartbeat. And you call AT&T and they're like, nope, you're still up. And we're like, we're not up. And you're like, I'm talking to you right now. I was so glad when Voice over IP came out because people couldn't call me for about a 3-month period when the internet went down. So. But yeah, no, it's a lot more fun. We've got use cases, events. I was out. I'm in Orange County. I'm in LA right now. During the fires, I went out. We did some cool stuff with that. I went with our state senator, and funny little side bit. I was standing around Gavin Newsom when he couldn't use his cell phone, and literally my phone blew up, and I took a picture and sent it to one of our partners, and he goes, "You're there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just made sure I wasn't in the thing. I'm not going to get in the TV shot. Right. This is hilarious." And they're laughing. What else? There's some good news. Coming out version 3 of the box, which is now got battery backup.
Okay.
So it's going to have a 12-hour battery backup, and we did some design and researches with that. It's a DeWalt or a Milwaukee plugin.
Okay.
12 hours. So now as we get excited, and I've Leonard DiMichelli as our channel chief, and I've brought on the right team. Now I get to go to events and say cool stuff and then walk away. But I get to work on it because I'm at the heart. I'm an engineer, right? And I'm like, well, how do we get this 12? How do I get 12 hours worth of battery life? How do I avoid if not only if the power goes out, but the internet goes out, the power goes out? How do we keep that up? And that was December and a lot of cool late nights drinking with one of my friends, figuring out how to do it. And we've got it. It's we're testing the prototype. We're getting it ready to go, and we're really excited about it.
So does that mean it uses a standard Milwaukee battery?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, that's because then it could, even though the one battery only lasts 12 hours, all you got to do is swap the battery out.
So, and what I did want to do is overcomplicate it with another system, right? And I'm like, well, if I put a battery system in, we're going to overcomplicate. How are we going to do this, right? I go, it's got to be easy. And what if the battery goes bad? They got to ship the box back? And I'm like, no. And we just kind of kicked around. I'm like, why don't we just get one of those little Milwaukee batteries? We won't even include the batteries. They can go out and buy them.
Right.
Right? $20. They're not much. And if they go bad, just go get another battery.
Yeah. And you can buy it at any Home Depot.
Any Home Depot. So we've done that. We've moved. We have a lot of telecom partners jumping on this, like way more than the MSP side. Over the last quarter, and they're running at it hard, which is great. And I've had to do some changes to our model with MSPs. It's month to month, $5.95. We've moved to we're billing for them they like us to bill their clients, so we moved that model, and then we're doing that anything they charge over $5.95 they could do. So we could do the same in the MSP space. I just don't know too many MSPs that want to do that. I would never do it when I had an MSP, but TCOM guys, they walk in every 3 years and go, hey, we're going to save you X amount of dollars. So that was that. We've come out with a on demand. It's called Rythmz on Demand. So I have a $100 box that we can now turn on or off SIMs. So that's become a big deal. And we expanded to 60 different countries.
Wow.
Yeah. So now we have international SIMs. So all my Canadian friends that were begging me to do it, I've got it. You're not going to be happy about the data charges, but we'll talk it through. Right? There's going to be a little bit of counseling and some therapy. It's not me. It's Rogers Telecom and Bell Canada, but we're there. So.
Well, and that's important because, obviously one of the use cases here is portability. Mm-hmm. And so being able to cross borders with it, the same as you would a cell phone, just having to change out the SIM, right?
No. Oh,
you don't have to change out the SIM?
No.
Well, even better.
You just tell me where you're going. I swap it on the back end. So it's called an AnySIM. So we figured that out. So I actually have one in my cell phone now. So now anywhere I go, I've got it, and it's good. So that was and they're Rythmz SIMs. So I can connect with that SIM to any carrier.
See, and that's amazing. And see, that's the flexibility that nobody else has that I believe really makes Rythmz different.
Yeah, we're trying to do. Thank you. First of all, thank you. But the whole goal of this was not to make, everybody talks about making money and blah, blah, blah. And how do you do this? Why did you become an entrepreneur? If you give me a problem, I'm like vanilla ice. I'm going to solve it. Mm-hmm. And at the core of us is people that were MSPs and people that did this. So I'm trying to solve problems. And that's what I like. It's really kind of that excitement of it of, whoa, what would I want? So when you said that, these were like exercises we did during December, end of November, December, January. I'm like, well, what would you want to see? And I had people that have no idea about 5G in these meetings. Like they do vodka, right? And they're like, well, this would be cool if we could do. I was just just soaking it all in. What are all the problems we could solve with just this technology? And that's where these things came up with the 60 countries. How I can take it on a plane, right? I just got to have battery backup. Now we've got the new box has got little wireless things in the antenna in the box. The antennas are in the box, but more importantly, it's got signal strength meters. And I'm like, would that be cool? And somebody's like, yeah, that would be cool. I'm like, all right, let's put them in there. So it became like this fun thing of how do you do it? But at the end of the day, we're a service provider. We're not. I'm not here to build the hardware. I'm going to build the hardware for us. And full disclosure, we use PepLink. If anybody wants to call me and ask me how I did it, I'll give you exactly how I did it. You can buy it from us. They're platinum reseller. They love us. But it's the service contracts with the carriers that matter. And that's really when we took the time to do that, that was the most important part.
Right. And so many people think just about the technology and they don't think about the use cases. And I think that's one of the big differentiators as well is you guys, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to regret it. You've applied a lot of out of the box thinking to it that has made this much more multi-purpose than the limited thinking of somebody who's just providing a 5G modem on the back of a router.
Yeah. I appreciate that, but it came from partners. Like we get so many ideas from a partner. I'm like, and I'll be like, hey, and usually maybe it needs a little tweaking or we need to talk it through. But she's like, yeah, that's actually really smart. Why don't we do it like this? And they're like, yeah, that would be great. We did another one this last week where it was ATMs. One of our partners has ATMs, and they're like, well, we pay $16 a month for this SIM in the back of these ATMs. He manages like 150 ATMs. And he goes, and then I pay for data overages. I'm like, what are you paying? You're like and he takes them to fairs and events. And I'm like, I go, why don't we, he goes, how many boxes would I need? I go, one. And he's, what do you mean? I'm like, we hardwire it into a switch, run the switch off the WAN. He's like, I only need one box. And it was like a $400, $500 savings for him. And now he's got one piece. And he's like, this is brilliant. I'm like, you don't need, you're like, why would you need one? You just need one internet piece, hardwire them all into one switch. And I go, if there's somewhere else, then you just put that switch out there and go boom, boom. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I go, what did I say? We'll wireless LAN to LAN it, right? And he goes, oh, that's brilliant. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I like too is it's very non-proprietary.
Yeah,
it works with so many different, things and like switches, and it just plugs into the network, which is to me amazing because so many people don't think that way, and they think more on the proprietary side because again, it's about the money, not the solution.
and the conferences that every conference that we have 500 of them in this industry. And if you guys did not know that, I did the research. There's 500 different MSP things. It's ridiculous. So, and they're all calling me at some point. So, hotel Wi-Fi, what they're charging for it. And we did a webcast on it. One of my friends runs the Golden Palace in Las Vegas. And he literally typed in and he goes, I'll deny this, but it is the number one revenue generator for that hotel.
Mm-hmm. I believe
they
it.
paid for that Wi-Fi. They charge you $10,000, and they give you a T1 line worth. I'm surprised that there's not an AOL person waking up listening to the beep sound, going, "Oh wait, oh my gosh, somebody's using this," right? And it was really cool when it came across. And the people that we had on that webinar were like, "Whoa!" And he goes, "No, I work at the Golden Palace. I run events. I'm telling you." This is exactly what they charge $10,000 a day. So it's ridiculous of what you do. The best part is I have some attorneys working on it right now. There's case law and a law that they can't stop you from doing as long as I'm not touching their infrastructure.
Makes sense.
So your partners that are out there are going out to these. You can help them. How do we say it? We're talking to one partner. I'm like, if you can help your clients make more revenue, they're going to love you.
Right.
Not only is IT like this cost center, but hey, this box that we have here, we're going to take it down for the weekend when you go to this conference piece, and we're going to put up so we're going to be not great for the weekend, but we're going to take it down and we're going to put up a splash screen, and you're going to capture every lead at your conference you're going to go to, and all you got to do is plug it in, and I'll set it all up. That when one of our partners did that, they were like, "This is ridiculously cool. The guy loves me." I'm like, "Now you're sticky. Now you're making momentum and pieces." And you know me, I can go off for hours about stuff like that. So I like if you come up with something cool, I'll figure out how to do it. I like to solve problems. So
well, we're going to be excited to try and test that technology sometime here in the near future when All Things MSP goes back out on the road. And we're at some in-person events, and looking forward to maybe being able to do the live stream from an ASCII show in the future.
I would love that. Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Because we did the first and actually I think only live stream we've actually done remotely. We did with ASCII here in Raleigh about 8 months ago, and it worked okay with my cell phone, but was not great.
I called you right afterwards. Eric, why didn't you?
You did.
I would have just given you the box. Let's see it. Does maybe it would be cool.
Well,
yeah,
now
no, it's a lot. We have a lot of that. So we get a lot of leads coming in for that are starting to do that. But supporting you and what you're doing in this community, absolutely, would love to do that stuff.
Yep,
it's a lot of fun.
Well, we will do it. If somebody wants to reach out and take advantage of this and get some of their clients' business continuity in order, how do they do that?
Just go to the website. We've got I'll sign up for them. You can hit it sales@rythmz.com. Spelled wrong because I was drunk when I was doing it. RYTHMZ. Just reach out to me directly on LinkedIn. Probably not on Facebook. I hide pretty good there. But definitely reach out on there. If you want us, we'll get in touch with you at any given time.
Awesome.
And we'll work through it. All right.
Thank you, Steve. And
thank you, Eric.
Hope I see you around the circuit here sometime soon.
You will for sure. I'll make sure. I'll make sure I definitely take a trip out to Raleigh, North Carolina. I love it out there. So
All right, well, give me a call when you do.